Hi, everyone. Welcome to the MSTP Convocation. We're going to give a couple minutes for people to come in into the event. I just want to, while we hear as people come in, do a little bit of a housekeeping. First, sorry, my name is Samantha Amazon with Icon School of Medicine. I just want to let you guys know that this event is an interactive viewing event. So please keep your cameras on if you can. Use the chat for well wishes and sharing sentiments throughout the event. We'll also be dropping some reflections from our graduates inside of the chat. So please keep an eye on that while you are interacting with us and viewing our video production. You will be muted as you join, and there will be time for you to be unmuted after the degrees after the degrees have been virtually conferred at the end of the ceremony. After the formal ceremony, please stay to share your congratulations and best wishes to our graduates. This event is best viewed in speaker view, as you'll be able to see who we are spotlighting at the end. With that, I'll send it over to Dr. Talia Schwartz.
Thank you, Samantha, and good evening, everyone. We are so excited for this event. This is our second annual MSTP virtual convocation, and we're so excited to celebrate our graduates this evening. This is going to be, as Samantha said, a live viewing event, and we encourage you to make liberal use of the reactions and the chat throughout. So please wish congratulations, send sentiments, family. We want you to be involved. We're so excited to be able to celebrate this event, and our graduates have been involved in this training for so many years that they deserve this really important celebration. So with that, we will begin the festivities.
Good afternoon. I'm Margaret Barron, co-director of the MD-PhD program at the Icon School of Medicine at Mount Sinai, Senior Associate Dean for MD-PhD Education and Fishberg Professor of Medicine. I'm delighted to welcome students, faculty, honored guests, relatives and friends, and our guest speaker, Dr. Paul Farmer, to the 2021 MD-PhD Convocation exercise of the Icon School of Medicine at Mount Sinai. The unusual circumstances of the pandemic have presented all of us with unexpected challenges, and last year required that we be inventive in seeking a venue in which we could appropriately celebrate the achievements of our graduating students. We held our inaugural MD-PhD Convocation as a virtual event that provided us with a unique opportunity to honor both aspects of our program, both the clinical and the research training, in a way that we were not able to do in the past. We also had the opportunity to make this event more personal than our traditional commencement event could be, and to tailor it to each of our graduating students. That event was so successful that we decided to hold our own convocation this year, and again, out of necessity, virtually. Today, we come together to celebrate our students as a community. I want to take this opportunity to address the 7 students in our MD-PhD graduating class. You are truly a remarkable group of young physician scientists. We all take immense pride in what you have worked so hard for, in your achievements, in both the research and clinical realms. We will follow the development of your careers with great interest. We know that you will all make a difference, each in unique ways, and we look forward to hearing from each of you today. It is now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Yasmin Hurd, Director of the Addiction Institute at Mount Sinai, Ward Coleman Chair of Translational Neuroscience, and former MD-PhD Program Director, who was selected by the graduating students to read the 2021 Physician Scientist Oath, together with graduating MD-PhD students Dr. Mark Bailey, Dr. Ranjan Upadhyay, Dr. Felix Richter, and Dr. Prashanth Rajarajan.
It is my honor to be here to recite this Physician Scientist Oath that was selected and adapted by the 2021 MD-PhD graduating class, that affirms the ideals to which they will aspire as physician scientists. The students developed this modified modern Hippocratic oath. I will read a section aloud, and each student will respond with the following sentence. I now ask that the graduates join us in reciting the 2021 Physician Scientist Oath. The oath appears in your convocation program. Reading the oath joins you in kinship with centuries of physicians and scientists dedicated to the art and science of healing. It is our new tradition to have all physicians and scientists take this oath so that we may collectively dedicate and rededicate our commitment to our profession. We will respect the hard-won scientific gains of those physicians whose torches we are to carry, and gladly share such knowledge as is ours with those who are to follow.
We will apply, for the benefit of the sick, all measures that are required, pursuing new means and research, while avoiding those twin traps of overtreatment and therapeutic nihilism in practice.
We will remember that there is art to medicine as well as science, and that warmth, sympathy, and understanding may outweigh the surgeon's knife or the chemist's drug.
We will not be ashamed to say, I know not, nor will we fail to call in our colleagues when the skills of another are needed for the advancement of scientific discovery and for a patient's recovery.
We will respect the privacy of our patients, for their problems are not disclosed to us that the world may know. Most especially, we must tread with care in matters of life and death. If it is given to us to save a life, all thanks, but it may also be within our power to respect the loss of life beyond our control. This awesome responsibility must be faced with great humbleness and awareness of our own abilities. Above all, we must seek to elicit truths within our scientific efforts, not to play God.
We will remember that we do not treat fever charts, cancer outgrowths, or chest CTs, but sick human beings whose illness affects the person's family and our country as a whole. Our responsibility includes these related problems if we are to adequately care for the sick.
We will remember that we remain members of society with special obligations to all fellow human beings, those sound of mind and body, as well as the affirm.
If we do not violate this oath, may we enjoy life and art, respected while we live and remembered with affection thereafter. May we always act so as to preserve the finest traditions of our calling, and may we long experience the joy of healing those who seek our help.
It is now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Talia Schwartz, who will introduce our convocation address speakers.
Hi, my name is Dr. Talia H. Schwartz. I'm co-director of the MD-PhD program at the Icahn School of Medicine at Mount Sinai, Associate Dean for MD-PhD Education, and Assistant Professor of Medicine in the Division of Infectious Diseases. It is my privilege to introduce our convocation speaker, Dr. Paul Farmer, Kolokotrones University Professor and Chair of the Department of Global Health and Social Medicine at Harvard Medical School, Chief of the Division of Global Health Equity at Brigham and Women's Hospital in Boston. Dr. Farmer is a medical anthropologist and a physician who has dedicated his life to improving systems of global health care. He is the co-founder and chief strategist of Partners in Health, an international nonprofit organization that since 1987 has provided direct health care services and undertaken research and advocacy activities on behalf of those who are sick and living in poverty. Dr. Farmer is an inspiration for all those who are dedicating their training and careers to serving communities in need. Thank you for being with us today, Dr. Farmer.
Hello, dear graduates from the MSTP. Although I can't yet welcome you to a post-pandemic world, I can congratulate you for making it through a very tough time and marvel at the circumstances now before us. Now before you. I'm not talking about residency programs so much as those facing the city and the nation. Now, every medical graduate can say they're entering a different world than the one they left upon beginning medical school. That's technically and temporally true, but the changes and awakening and loss, so much loss, remind us that in fact, you never left the world in starting your medical and PhD studies. What you've seen is a tectonic level of change and much more to come. And those coming up behind you temporarily are feeling it too. In the New York Times last month, there was an article about the college applications of high school seniors from across the country. In response to a request from the Times, more than 900 seniors submitted the personal essays they wrote for their college applications. According to the journalist who wrote the piece, reading them is like a trip through two of the biggest news events of recent decades: the devastation brought by the coronavirus and the rise of a new civil rights movement. End quote. Imagine that, the rise of a civil rights movement. Some of you look back on these past few turbulent years as a play in 3 acts. Act 1, your stage is set. You start medical school. You're just students, right? Yes, but you're at Mount Sinai, high up on the peak of New York medicine, and you're also MD, PhD students. You got a whole nother doctorate to win, which isn't going to happen without original research by an independent researcher alone in her lab pipetting. At least that's the image. You can do this, you say at the beginning of Act 1, but you will need purpose and deep concentration, the ability to go off into the desert of your own insight. But then again, my spies on the Mount, including one who will go unnamed, but whose surname rhymes with quartz, have insisted that you are, and I quote, socially aware, passionate, and driven individuals who are motivated by their science and profound desire to help others. So Act 1 sets up the tension between your benevolence and solidarity and the obligation you have to win these 2 doctoral degrees. Act 2. And now the drama heats up. COVID hits your city. And now you're not just students, you're Mount Sinai medical students, conscripts in a new struggle. Some of your age mates are already doctors, and more of them take their oath early in order to serve on the front lines of that war. Most of you find ways to help too, as the siege of New York begins. It's hard to believe that that was only a year ago. And now Act 3. Most of you can remember exactly where you were standing when you saw the images of the life slowly crushed out of a man named George Floyd. Was it just a year and a month ago that Breonna Taylor was still drawing breath? Was Eric Garner not with us when some of you started medical school? But that was the play, some say. This is your real professional life, which begins upon graduation. Well, it seems that most of you never left the real world when you embarked on this now successful and crazy quest for 2 doctorates. It seems, in other words, that my spies at Mount Sinai were correct. This class knows what you've already been through and accomplished is real life. In making these assessments, I have a special debt to some of your classmates, including Christian Stevens, Amara Plaza-Jennings, Sope Ogunyutu, and Alan Zheng. They wrote me the most perfect invitation, complete, I might add, with bibliographic references, definitely from the MD PhD cohort. This letter might be thought of as stage direction or input for the writer's room. Christian, Amara, Sope, and Alan wrote me, for example, about the East Harlem Health Outreach Partnership, which plays an important and especially important role in our MSTP program, so much so that the clinic now is a specific physician scientist track. Sorry, that was my infectious disease coming out. It's tracked, not tracked. I will not retake that. Despite compromising only 10% of each class, MD PhD students account for 25% of clinical volunteers. MD PhD students are also heavily involved in the many research projects within the clinic, which range from measuring the efficacy of cognitive behavioral therapy in the context of a student clinic to measuring and improving COVID-19 vaccine confidence and trust-based relationships with healthcare professionals. Now, to me, that doesn't sound like noblesse oblige or Band-Aid charity medicine. And I learned more from your classmates. They added, in the midst of a basic science PhD, it can become easy to lose sight of the individuals that one's work is intended to impact. Yet situated directly on the border between the poorest and one of the wealthiest zip codes in New York City, we bear witness, they wrote, to the glaring discrepancies in care for the marginalized populations in and beyond our community. All this, they concluded, to avoid pasteurizing the care right out of our practice. Now, this line was a deft reference to one from a recent book about Ebola, in which I tried to dissect, or at least understand, how so many Pasteurians, as public health practitioners were termed in the early years of European colonial rule in Africa. Their primary job, the Pasteurians, at which they failed, was to control the epidemics that reliably threatened commerce, colonial or otherwise. As for the other task of medical practitioners to provide care for the locals, they didn't even really try. And what kind of doctors, one wonders, spend so little time providing medical care for the natives? To decolonize global health, it turns out, would require that we do something more along the lines of what you've helped to do in East Harlem. But this is not a forum in which to discuss Ebola or anything else too easily dismissed as irrelevant exotica. It's a forum in which we take stock of your victories and how they've steered you forward into what we believe, into what I believe will be the revitalization of medicine and public health in this country, the country we're sitting in right now. And that will require investing heavily in our social health too. And who better than that? Sorry. And that will require investing heavily in our social health too. And who better to do that than the graduates of Mount Sinai School of Medicine? On the optimistic side of the ledger, where I tend to live, we have much to celebrate today. If you are alleged to be re-entering the world, for you that just means leaving the Zoom. But you're leaving it at a remarkable moment, one in which the kind of work you do in a lab, in a dissertation, in writing an article for Nature or Science, but also in East Harlem, these things are seen more these days for what they are and what they can be. It is a world, as those college applications suggest, in which we struggle to emerge from a pandemic and into a nation that is fairer and more healthy for all of us. This, dear graduates, is the moment to make that happen. We can and must ask, what can we do to make medicine matter? But you're moving on to more clinical training and to faculty and research positions at a time when medicine is already widely seen to matter. Where, after all, did those vaccines that are turning things around come from? What about the new genomic diagnostics that allow us to track disturbing new variants and redesign an entirely new class of vaccines to reflect real-time mutations? Whence the new therapeutics, including antibody cocktails and antiviral therapies? And so, in concluding, what about our turbulent republic? Are things finally looking up? I sure think they are. Now we have a chance to see an end to the pandemic, here and elsewhere. We have a chance to reknit our safety nets, or simply weave them for the first time. Now we have a chance to emerge from this pandemic aware of the dread dimensions of our losses, but committed irrevocably to addressing health and other disparities, including those so readily encountered in our justice system, in our system writ large. Here's where social medicine and social health intersect with the next acts of an ongoing play, an epic one rather than a tragedy or a comedy. So I will close this very American speech with a remark from one of my closest friends, the lawyer and social justice advocate, Bryan Stevenson. He wrote the unforgettable book, Just Mercy. You should buy it as a gift to your own classmates as you embark on promising careers at a promising and perilous time. Brian was speaking last month to the Washington Post, and the full transcript of his interview appeared there. But I just want to quote what he said at the end of reflecting on the events of last year and last summer and the years before. In many ways, Brian said, we're just entering a period of American history where there is the capacity to engage in the sort of reckoning that I'm talking about, the kind of truth-telling that I'm talking about, because there has to be some of these basic conditions to exist before that can happen. This is still Brian. What I think we saw last summer is that with the continued indifference to the victimization of Black people by police violence, the disparities, that we all saw during the pandemic, all these things just made it clear that if we keep doing what we've been doing for 400 years, if we stay silent as we've been taught, then this problem will continue generation after generation. I think, he concluded, what a lot of people said is we don't want to do that anymore. And that is the beginning of creating a space for actual reckoning. It's not the reckoning itself, he warns, but it creates that space. Well, dear graduates, since this is a message for you rather than your faculty and family and friends, I want to close by thanking you for being willing to help clear the space required for reckoning within medicine and public health. What do we do to make medicine matter? I'm not exhorting you, mind you, but I'm thanking you for lifting your eyes from the specifics of your work when the times called for it. And surely they have, and surely they do. Congratulations to all of you and to your families and friends and faculty. And may the next steps of your lives be as rewarding as we all need them to be. Keep making medicine matter. And thank you for letting me be part of this richly deserved celebration. Good luck.
Thank you, Dr. Farmer. It is now my privilege to introduce the 2021 Icahn School of Medicine at Mount Sinai graduating MD-PhD class. These students have completed a rigorous combined program during which time they have pursued training toward both a doctoral degree in medicine and in biomedical sciences. Students pursue their first 2 years of preclinical medical studies, followed by a research project, which concludes with the dissertation defense. Students then return to complete their clinical training, and those who graduate go on to pursue advanced training that enables them to embark on physician-scientist careers. Our students are multi-talented, passionate clinicians, analytical thinkers, creative educators, and problem solvers. Each of our graduates use their time at Mount Sinai to create, innovate, and enrich our community. Dr. Barron and I will introduce each graduate and then invite each graduate to make brief remarks. The graduate will then be hooded by the individuals they have each designated. After Dr. Nestler has virtually conferred the degrees, you will all be invited to unmute for applause. Please feel free to submit your congratulations and well wishes in the chat at any time. Dr. Barron and I are now delighted to introduce our graduates.
Dr. Mark Bailey completed his PhD in the laboratory of Dr. Peter Palese. His dissertation is entitled Antibody-Mediated Immunity to Zika Virus. In addition to science and medicine, Dr. Bailey has been an active educator in medical school and graduate school courses, an anatomy teaching assistant for 7 years, as a student advisor, and has been a driver of many student organizations, including MD-PhD retreat, admissions, and recruitment. Dr. Bailey has also contributed to the institutional initiatives including founding the Sinai Biotechnology Association and Wiki Project Medicine. His long-term goal is to become an academic surgeon scientist.
First, I'd like to thank the MD-PhD administration for coordinating this virtual event, particularly Bianca, who does an amazing job coordinating countless events and programs. I'd like to thank the MD-PhD leaderships, first with Dr. Yasmin Hurd for admitting me, and now Drs. Talia Swartz and Dr. Barron for supporting me every step of the way, from the PhD through the residency application process. Thanks to Dr. Palese for his support and guidance through my PhD, And I'd like to thank all the medical school advisors of various departments, and in particular the Department of Surgery, for their support as well. And I'd like to thank my family, my parents, sister, my wife Kelly, and especially my daughter Vivian for giving me something to look forward to every day. My name is Dr. Mark Bailey, and I'm going to be hooded by my sister, Dr. Catherine Bailey.
Dr. Matthew Chambers completed his PhD in the laboratory of Dr. Matthew Evans. His dissertation is entitled Probing the Impact of Zika Virus Glycoprotein Structural Landscape on Antibody Interactions. In addition to science and medicine, Dr. Chambers enjoys community service through the Student Council and volunteering with nonprofit organizations. In his downtime, he loves to learn new hobbies like repairing small electronics. He hopes to use his career as a physician scientist to improve the field of pathology.
I'm Dr. Matthew Chambers, and I'd like to thank everyone who helped me reach this stage in my education and congratulate all of my fellow graduates on their accomplishments.
Dr. Fiona Desland completed her PhD in the laboratory of Dr. Miriam Murad. Her dissertation is entitled Disruption of the CSF1-CSF1R axis alters cerebellar microglia and is associated with motor learning and social interaction deficits. In addition to science and medicine, Dr. Desland is committed to education through teaching and mentoring of graduate, undergraduate, and high school students. She's an art enthusiast and enjoys working on portrait and figure pieces, primarily in the mediums of graphite pencil and acrylic paint. Her long-term goal is to become an academic physician scientist and impact on health and science policy.
Hi everyone. I'd like to take this time to acknowledge and thank the many people who have gotten me to this point and to this graduation day, because it definitely was not a sole endeavor on my part. First, I'd like to thank my very supportive family, in particular my mother and my many aunts, Aunt Norma, Aunt Denise, Aunt Carolyn, and Sandra. I'd love to thank my past and present mentors, including Rhonda Flynn, Colin Sumners, Yasmin Hurd, Miriam Murad, as well as the many amazing postdocs and grad students that I've worked with across these years. I'd like to thank my MSTP cohort, in particular Prashanth, Mark, and Vince, who've gotten me through these last few years. I'd love to thank my best friend Luisana, as well as my partner Ryan and his amazing family for all their support these last few years. I would also love to thank the many people that I didn't get to include in this video. I am here because of you, and I thank you. I am Dr. Fiona Desland, and I am happy to introduce my partner Ryan Hickey, who's behind me, who will be hooding me today. Thank you.
Dr. Jennifer Diaz completed her PhD in the laboratory of Dr. Ross Kagan. Her dissertation is entitled Systems Approaches to Genomic and Therapeutic Complexity in Breast Cancer. In addition to science and medicine, Dr. Diaz has served extensively in patient care, education, and research at the East Harlem Health Outreach Partnership, or EHOP. She has been an advocate for women in the MSTP as a co-founder of an advocacy student group and has leveraged her experience as a mother during her training, overseeing multiple scholarly projects on gender disparities in MD-PhD programs. Her long-term goal is to be an academic physician scientist studying cancer, genomics, and precision oncology.
My time at Sinai has been transformative. I could not have imagined the person I would be today, and yet I am ready to take on the next phase of the career I always hoped for. I would never have reached this point without all the incredible people who have been here to support me. I would like to thank my amazing advisors here at Sinai, including those in the medical school and hospital, especially my impressive mentors and colleagues at EHOP. A special thanks to my bright and supportive thesis advisors, Ross and Gustavo, and my colleagues in their laboratories, without whom my work would not have been possible, and my thesis committee. I thank the MSTP and graduate school leadership for their invaluable mentorship and advice over the years. I am lucky to have worked with and learned from friends and colleagues in the women and MSTP community, including the leadership of whom I am so proud. A thank you to my friends in my original MSTP class and those I've made throughout the years. I also thank the patients and families who've taught me so much. I thank our friends at the Church of the Holy Trinity. We will miss you and hope to find a community half as supportive where we go next. I thank my family back home, including my brother and his family, for always encouraging me. I thank the best parents in the world, Margaret and Dean, for always being here when I needed them. Finally, I thank my husband Aries for always believing in me, and my daughter Marion for visiting lab to help more often than I can count, sending stuffed animals to keep me company at work when she couldn't be there, and being a constant joy to come home to.
I'm Jennifer Diaz, and I will be hooded by my daughter Marion. Okay, put it around my head.
Dr. Felix Richter completed his PhD in the laboratories of Drs. Bruce Gelb and Eric Schott. His dissertation is entitled Non-Coding Genetic Variants in Congenital Heart Disease. In addition to science and medicine, Dr. Richter is dedicated to education, mentoring high school students with disabilities through the Manhattan School of Career Development, mentoring junior research trainees through the Gelb Group, teaching software engineering, scientific programming, and bioinformatics courses to master's, PhD, and MD PhD students, and founding the first medical student Wikipedia editing group for crowdsourcing medical knowledge. His long-term goal is to become a pediatrician scientist in neonatology, investigating the genetic bases of congenital defects and the intersection of machine learning and neonatal intensive care.
This video is for my family. Kirsten and Stefan, my parents, thank you for everything. Florian and Nora, I could not ask for better siblings. Ray, I love being with you. I love thinking about our shared memories and about the future we have together. Thank you. Sinai family, thanks. Thank you, Yasmin, for accepting me into the program and believing in me. Entering class of 2013, thank you for being so inspirational and such good friends. Everyone in the MD PhD program, the students, the leadership, and the administrative staff, thank you for building us into this close-knit community where I truly feel like I'm part of a family. Bruce and Eric, thank you for mentoring me. So to my Sinai family, thanks. Throughout my life, I've been through so many different classrooms and after school activities, in-school activities, multiple labs, so many different rotations now through med school. And in many of those, I've found families where we've supported each other. So to all those families that I've been a part of, thank you. I'm so grateful to be here earning this MD PhD, and I could not have done it without you. So thanks again. Hi, my name is Dr. Felix Richter. I'd like to thank my friends and family and Kitty for helping me get to this point. Thank you all so much.
Dr. Prashanth Rajarajan completed his PhD in the laboratories of Dr. Shahram Akbarian and Dr. Kristen Brenand. His dissertation is entitled Neuron-Specific Signatures in the Chromosomal Connectome Associated with Schizophrenia Risk. In addition to science and medicine, Dr. Rajarajan is committed to teaching students from underserved communities and has been actively engaged in EHOP as a Spanish interpreter, coordinator of interpreter services, and as a senior clinician. Dr. Rajarajan has been a competitive ballroom dancer and is a regional and national title holder. His long-term goal is to pursue a career as a physician scientist engaged in clinical and translational research, investigating the basis and treatment of neurological diseases.
I'd first like to thank my family, specifically my parents and brother, without whose constant support, none of this would have been possible. And then my partner, Stephen, who's been with me through the highs and lows of the MD PhD training and has supported me throughout. My cohort, the group of people that started the program with me at the same time, they've been such a rock and some of my closest friends throughout this journey. And of course, my friends from all walks of life, specifically the ballroom community, one that has helped keep me sane and active and allowed me to express myself artistically. And of course, the program leadership from Yasmin, who was a director that accepted me, to Margaret and Talia now, and also Ben Chen. I've been really grateful for all of your support throughout. And thinking on my journey thus far, One of the things I think back most fondly on is the MSTP retreat that occurs annually, where we all, or most of us, are in one place together for a weekend. And it's honestly some of the most fun that I've had during the training, and I've made so many important connections with people from both classes below me and above me, and many of which who continue to be resources for me and a support even after graduating. And for that, I'm really grateful for the sense of community that the Sinai MSTP has provided me. I'm Dr. Prashanth Rajarajan, and today I have my partner Stephen Aldridge hooding me.
Dr. Ranjan Upadhyay completed his PhD in the laboratory of Dr. Joshua Brody. His dissertation is entitled Genetic and Small Molecule Screening for Studying Cancer T-Cell Interactions. In addition to science and medicine, Dr. Upadhyay has been dedicated to clinical work, service and education, serving underserved communities through running health fairs, serving as clinician manager and chronic care clinician in the East Harlem Health Outreach Partnership, and has been an active teacher to medical and graduate students and middle school students in East Harlem to foster interest in STEM.
So I just want to start off by thanking all of my classmates, both old, really old, and new. Special shout out to my original MD PhD intern class of 2012, aka the Titans. Most of them have moved on to the next stage, but thank you to Matt Chambers for sticking it out with me. We started originally with 12 people, and we didn't lose a single one, so I'm very proud of us for that. Thanks to my PhD mentor, Josh, giving me the chance to work in his lab and helping me do some amazing science. Thanks to all the MSTP program admin over the years, including, of course, Margaret and Talia and Yasmin, who accepted me into the program in the first place. Of course, thank you to my parents for always pushing me, always questioning my decisions. My mom still asks me to this day why I didn't just become an engineer. It's a pretty valid question after 9 years. Thanks to my brother and his family for all of their support. I first applied to med school while bumming on their couch as a fresh, homeless college grad, so thank you for that. Of course, thank you to my wife, Deepika, whom I first met in Cancun unexpectedly during my PhD, as well as her family. I think Aaron Sorkin is interested in writing our screenplay because you couldn't make a more heartwarming or romantic movie. Finally, thanks to our overgrown pup, Samosa, who brought immeasurable joy to our home during the difficult past year, and will continue to do so over the next many more years to come. Do 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 do.
Congratulations to all of our graduates. Now it is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Eric Nestler, Dean for Academic and Scientific Affairs, to virtually confer the degrees on our graduates.
It is my pleasure to virtually confer the degrees of MD and PhD on the MD-PhD class of 2021 of the Icahn School of Medicine at Mount Sinai. As an MD-PhD myself, I appreciate the extraordinary accomplishments of today's graduates in becoming double doctors. Please join me in congratulating all of our degree recipients on this very special occasion.
Okay, we'd like to ask you all to unmute and express your enthusiasm. You'll have a couple minutes and then we'll resume the program.
Congratulations!
Amazing!
Samosa for president.
Hi, Bruce. Just to let you know, we're not finished. We'll have time for more comments afterwards, but we're going to resume the program. You guys are great. Invite you to make more comments afterwards. So we'll continue and then save your applause because we'll have more time after.
I would now like to call on Dr. Marta Filazzola, Dean of the Graduate School of Biomedical Sciences, and Dr. David Moeller, Dean of the School of Medicine, to deliver the closing remarks.
Hello, I'm Marta Filizzola, Dean of the Graduate School of Biomedical Sciences, and it is my pleasure to share some closing remarks with you today. For many of you, the decision to become a physician scientist was one you made so many years ago that you may not even recall the moment you made that decision, or think very often about what pushed you to do so. Little did you know back then that in 2021 we would be living in circumstances that would lead just about everyone in the world to understand the importance of basic science research, translational research, healthcare, and intersections and connections among the three, and to be thinking and talking about these things almost every day. Today, the work of physician scientists is in the news and on our minds more than ever in history. The lessons learned from the past year offer, I believe, some useful advice for the future. First, today researchers and clinical providers are remarkably connected to their patients and members of the public, far more than they were even 20 years ago, through social media, streaming, televisions, and other channels. This very immediate means of connecting has many benefits, not the least of which is the ability to educate the public very quickly about the latest developments. However, it also holds inherent responsibilities for all of us, the responsibility to engage with the public, to follow what people are saying, and to ensure that they are hearing accurate information. I encourage you to take advantage of and participate in this unprecedented opportunity for dialogue. Second, the changes in technology and communications we have seen over the past years have changed the ways in which we connect and collaborate with our scientific colleagues. The answer to the problem you are trying to solve could come from your own lab or practice, or the one next door to you, or one halfway around the world. This is an easy truth to acknowledge, but staying engaged and connected takes an investment of time and work. I encourage you to stay connected with your colleagues in the coming years, whether they are near to you or in another country, by following them on social media, by reading what they publish, by attending meetings both in person and virtually, and by keeping your ears and minds open to new developments. Third, we have learned this year that inequity and injustice continue to be present and powerful in our society, and the conversation around how these forces affect our patients, not to mention our colleagues, our neighbors, our families, and us, is a crucial one. There are many important efforts underway meant to help make our society a more just and equitable one. However, I would challenge you not just to think about how to eliminate inequity and injustice from our environment, but also how to respond to an environment in which these things continue to exist. You must assume that the results of your research and the impact of your patient care will take shape in the context of a society where not everyone is included or valued equally. Remember those who lack access to technology, healthcare, and other resources in all of the work that you do, as they can be among its greatest beneficiaries. To be clear, in the coming years, physician scientists will be among the most important people to the well-being of the entire planet. Whatever you do, whether that's to help the world through the next pandemic or to tackle one of today's urgent problems such as the national opioid crisis, or take on the battle against cancer or another serious health condition, or something new no one has heard of or thought of yet, remember that we at Mount Sinai are proud of you, we support you, we trust you, and we look forward to staying connected.
I want to add my congratulations, gratitude, and good wishes to you all. What you've accomplished in your years at Mount Sinai is exceptional, and your commitment to our school and our communities has kept us honest. Your commitment has kept us pursuing greatness in research and clinical care, but also in striving for racial and social justice, making it the foundation for everything else that we do. We are who we are today because of your investment in our future and your relentless pursuit of personal, academic, and professional excellence. Thank you. I want to thank Margaret and Talia for everything they've done to facilitate your success and to nurture your wellness. My wish for all of you is that you enjoy limitless excitement, satisfaction, and success, and that your road in life is paved with opportunities.
Thank you, Drs. Filizzola and Muller, for your uplifting remarks to our graduates. To our graduates, we are so proud of your accomplishments and look forward to your continued impact on biomedical sciences. Congratulations to all of you and all of your loved ones who supported you to make it to this day. And with that, the 2021 MD-PhD Convocation exercises of the Icahn School of Medicine at Mount Sinai are now concluded.
We'll ask you to unmute again and invite any comments, of course, in the chat, and please feel free to speak up and celebrate your loved ones, friends, colleagues, and community.
Congratulations to my daughter, Jennifer, who did this all while giving birth and being pregnant.
Congratulations to Fiona. I love you, Fiona. Congrats. You did it. It was a long journey, but you made it. You finished, you know, I'm so proud of you. Congratulations again, sweetheart. Congratulations.
I want to say I'm proud of everybody. It's so great to see how you have matured, how you have, you know, embodied this program and become such phenomenal scientists and physicians to be. Really, really proud of you. I had no doubt. Like I said, the world is your oyster. You guys are going to be great, really great, because you're great human beings to start. And I think that that's what's, you know, the critical foundation for everything. So proud of you.
Congrats, Prashanth. I'm so proud of you, Bob. You've done it.
Yeah.
You achieved it, and you are smart, and you are so helpful to everybody who works with you, and you are a great, talented, multi-talented daughter to have in our family as our son. We're so proud of you, Prashanth.
Yeah, very proud of you, Prashanth. Great to see you there. You know, Stephen too, you know, you hooded him for us. So,
Ranjan, we are very proud of you. You have done it.
After a long time, I'm always asking you, when are you finishing? You did it. Good job. Congratulations.
We are all very proud of you.
We are proud of you, definitely. Congratulations to everybody.
Again.
Mark, I'm so proud of you and Kelly and Vivian and, you know, all the whole support network behind you, my sisters, my aunties, uncles, nephews, children. They're all very pleased and surprised and happy and grateful. And we look forward to having you back with us for 7 years and many more in California. And I am just so impressed with all you young people. The world is your oyster. The future is in your hands. So thank you very much, all of you.
Thanks, Mom.
Yeah, okay. Felix, congratulations.
Thank you.
Our parents are sitting here, we're watching everything. We don't want to dwell on the present. We are actually looking forward what you're going to do now with all your achievements behind you that we fully expected that you would, you know, excel in everything you do as you did in the past. And we hope that you will do that in the future. Congratulations.
Hi, California.
We feel bad that California won't get you for a while, but Felix, we're happy that we can keep you for a couple more years.
Thanks, Yasmin.
I just want to say to Jagadish Upadhyay that Ranjan could have left much earlier. He was really done years ago, but he said, Josh, I don't want to make any money. I just want Samosa and the family to have access to science and inquiry. And really, for the last couple of years, it was mostly Samosa doing a lot of the work. Yes. A number of situations where there were dog hairs in the pipette tubes, and we really had to say, Ranjan, you have to do some of the work yourself as well. And he did some, and we are very proud of him. Jagadish, I'm sorry we took him for so long.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry we contaminated your lab for years.
Honestly,
Thanks,
the
everyone.
quality of the data really wasn't very good from the beginning, so I wouldn't worry about it. It's fine.
Congratulations, Fiona. We love you. So proud of you.
I want to congratulate this whole group, such an impressive group of young people about to take on the world, and the world needs you. And I want to just say, having been through med school was hard enough, and to do an MD PhD is just such another level. So I really want to congratulate you all on this achievement. Prashanth, I knew you had it in you even back then in California when you were a little boy with your collar all the way buttoned up to the top and just so studious. I knew you were destined for great things. So congratulations, everyone. Truly impressive.
I knew Prashanth was headed for greatness when I saw him dance. I went to his performance and I was like, wow, this is who we brought into the program. So it was great.
Thank you all. And for outing my questionable fashion choices circa 1999.
Awesome,
This
Prashanth.
is Eric. I just wanted to wish you all congratulations as well. Hard to believe that I got my MD PhD degrees 38 years ago. Those degrees imbued me with a career that's been spectacular, and I know it will do the same for y'all. So congratulations and all the best in future years.
So I want to share my congratulations. We're so proud of you, and we're so fortunate to have one good thing come out of this pandemic is the ability for us. Oh, yeah, sorry. I thought I muted, but I didn't. I still haven't figured out how to use Zoom after this year, but we figured out how to do this. And that is to bring our graduates and our students and our alumni and our families of our graduates together to celebrate this amazing occasion. And it's such a gift that we're able to reflect back on the experiences of each of these amazing graduates and send them off onto this incredible path at this critical time in the world. And we know fully that they're going to make a huge impact on all of the things that they choose to do. So I'm so excited for you and looking forward to you keeping in touch, as some of our graduates are on this Zoom right now. So please keep coming back and celebrating, and you know that you're always part of this family. So congratulations.
I'd like to add my congratulations to all of you. You're a really amazing group. We're so proud of you, and we can't wait to watch your continued success and achievements, and we hope you have very fulfilling and enjoyable careers. So please keep in touch, and congratulations again.
Congratulations, Prashanth. Congratulations to everybody who graduated today.
Well done. And Jennifer, thanks for all your support in building up the women in MSTP. It was like neuroscience. You were amazing.
Congratulations, Ashley. We're very proud of you. John, Nicole, and obviously your mom. You did it. I knew you would. Very, very proud. Congratulations. We love you.
Fiona, brilliant woman.
Wonderful. So I just wanted to say that we're going to end at 6:30. So please, those of you who felt shy and didn't want to say anything, now is your chance to share your message with the graduates.
Congratulations again. I just, words are, you know, I have no words to say how proud I am of you. Congratulations.
Prashanth, show us those famous dance moves.
Yeah, come on.
All my sisters with me.
Yeah, really nice out here. Come out and visit.
Ooh, it looks great in California.
Congratulations, Dr. Bailey.
Thank you, Dr. Velazzi. Good to see you.
You did very well. Very happy.
Even that right.
You've all done so much since your first days in anatomy. Amazing. It's been beautiful to see you. Incredible. Our long line of magnificent MD PhDs continues. It's extraordinary. God bless. You guys have been great.
Thank you. So with that, we're going to conclude this evening, but thank you so much to everyone and wishing you lots of celebrations and congratulations to everyone. Have a lovely evening.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Proud of all of you.
Congratulations.
Mm-hmm.
Cheers. So congratulations.